The SOAR Act is so important for all pulmonary hypertension patients and really, frankly, all patients who have respiratory illnesses who need access to oxygen therapy. Oxygen therapy has often been referred to now as home oxygen as opposed to supplemental oxygen. And the wheels were put in motion many years ago with a competitive bidding where CMS stopped reimbursing durable medical suppliers adequately. And so the things that we used to have access to be able to live our lives, a lot of the types of equipment and the amount of oxygen that we need to live a full life and try to thrive or even survive, they've gone away. Patients are stuck in hospitals because they're on higher flow oxygen, and DMEs are not willing to pick them up as patients because it's not cost effective for them. So through the SOAR Act, we are trying to do 4 things. The first thing is we are trying to establish a patient bill of rights that's patient-centric, and it will drive the durable medical suppliers to give us what we need, the types of oxygen we need, the amount of oxygen we need, so we can live our lives, and not just in our homes, but outside our homes as well. The second thing that this act will do is enable people to have access to a respiratory therapist. That is so critical. 17 years ago, before things had taken a dramatic turn for the worse in terms of oxygen access, a respiratory therapist came to my house and they showed me key things like how to ensure I am on the right amount of oxygen. They walked me around my house. They ensured I knew that if I'm ill, don't stick petroleum jelly up my nose. It is combustible. They helped me understand how I could cook safely and how to keep my home safe and how to travel safely with oxygen so that tanks don't become a projectile if, God forbid, we were in an accident. So they also taught me how to, at such a traumatic point in my life, when someone's telling you in your 30s you need to wear this 24/7, tips and tricks on how you might move forward and still live your life as best as you can. The third thing that the SOAR Act is going to do, it's going to offer liquid oxygen to those who need it. So I think we're going to start with higher flow oxygen, people who are on 6 liters a minute and more. Hopefully we'll get down to 4 liters a minute. But I used to be able to ride bikes with my children on an electric bike with 6 liters of continuous oxygen on my back, like a little backpack that was very light. It was 5 pounds. And now that has gone away. I can't do things like that. Liquid is totally gone. And that Helios Marathon that weighed 5 pounds and was very light, if I had one here, I could throw it up in the air. It has the same amount of oxygen as an e-tank and cart. And this is 16 pounds at a minimum. And it's just mind-numbing to me that we are being forced to do things or to not have the equipment that we need. It takes away our independence. So I used to be able to be out of the house for the day with a couple of Helios marathons and a tank or two as backup. Now, that's not the way it works. If I need to be out of the house more than 2 hours, I typically need to bring someone with me. So my independence has been taken away from me. You try to go to the supermarket and, it's hard to shop for your family and push a cart and pull an e-tank and cart behind you. And I used to be an athlete, but I would challenge a lot of people to try to go and do that for themselves. And then the fourth thing that the SOAR Act will do is it'll provide adequate reimbursement to the durable medical equipment suppliers so that they have the funding to give you the oxygen that you do need. And it'll also establish some protections against fraud and abuse. Oh, the impact of the SOAR Act passing for PH patients would be just phenomenal. It would allow us to actually thrive in our lives as opposed to be constricted to our homes. You know, I can only leave the house 14 hours a week. To be able to get back to a real life and do things outside and be a part of things, and spend more time with my family and just with nature. And I and many other patients can't do that right now. We're stuck at home with our home oxygen, and I can't wait for the opportunity to be able to do the things that other people are able to do because they have enough air.